I have some games to go over in twos that might help you improve some. For this build, I guess, these are the talents that I run. The PvP talents don't really change. The priest and the discipline priest talents don't really change. You can change them a little bit if you want. You can go bulwark or inspiration if you think you're going to be trained. You can even go powered life if you're not very confident in your healing abilities, because this build is not for pussies. All right, man up. Don't take radiance. Don't take powered life. Okay. This is Disc Priest life we're talking about. All right. Be a man. So first game here, we have DH Holy Priest, and I'm with the Feral Druid. Honestly, this build can work for most twos comps, I believe. Um, I just tend to play with ferals a lot more, so that's the point of view that you will be getting. So here I'm just changing my talents a little bit because I don't actually want Schism, as weird as that might sound. I'm actually trying to minimize as many spells as I can. Like you don't want to be pressing. You don't want to have like 5 different damage abilities to press before you can actually do damage, right? So you don't want to be forced to feel like you have to press Schism first, then Mind Blast, then Penance, and all that stuff. Blah blah blah. The way my build works is it's based off your dot. Basically, it's just your damage is based off your dot. So you get your dot up, and then you can start pumping. That's basically it. It's all about Mind Blast with Expiation and your dot. So you keep your dot up, spam Mind Blast as much as you can, keep Atonement up, pop in a few deaths here and there if you don't need them, like versus this. There's not really anything to death, so you can freely use your death for an extra expiation tick. See, like right here, I just used it. I put my dot up and pressed death just to get that expiation. This does bring your dot cooldown down, or your dot up time. So really just track your dot. That's all you have to do with this build is track your dot, keep it up for the mind blasts, the deaths, and just do damage. Really, just pump, and you heal through atonement. So there's nothing much to say in this game, at least. Versus this, your feral druid just basically does what he wants while you pump damage on literally anyone. There's not really a strat versus this, it's just a DH. The good thing about actually playing with a druid too, a feral druid, is you don't really have to fear anything because they have that DR with clones, right? So you're kind of free to your job is to do damage. Should be. So here my guy kind of got low, and I did actually swap him when he renewed, which is kind of the only bad thing I think that went wrong in this game. Because he did, in his defense, he did get low pretty quickly, I guess, but it's still bad to use renewal low if you can help it. Especially if you're running powered life. Really have to be careful with it. Alright, so our druid anything is pretty hard for this feral, especially if your feral doesn't really know the strategy. And Mistweavers are similar, but generally versus our druid, you want to pressure multiple targets. So as a disc priest, what I like to do is kind of try and prime the druid up for my feral's swaps, which means to purge. Purging Mark of the Wild is really important if you can in the beginning when they don't have many Hatsa. It's really good to get out of the way because that is, I think, 1.5% damage reduction, and obviously the 3% healing and damage from the versatility. So it's really important to get the Mark of the Wild if you can early on in the game before he gets too many Hatsa. Other than that, Just big damn, like all the time. Especially on the Arduid. I get bashed here. The druid doesn't go for a clone because my feral goes to him really quickly. I really wish my druid would have maimed him during this sometime. It would have been nice because I got a fear on the hunter. The hunter trinkets it. Granted, we could have gotten look here. We could have gotten trinket trank if my feral had maimed him sometime between then. I was really, really gunning for that maim, and that's why I feared the hunter. But we did get the hunter's trinket and the druid's trank. So now I'm trying to get some damage out. My feral went for a clone and got kicked, or I think he got precog. I don't know. Now he names the druid here and then clones him, which I actually really don't like doing. I don't think it's a very good use of maim, but it was also not that great of a maim to go him since he had no dots up, I'm pretty sure. No bleeds. And now here I'm just keeping explosive off him. See, now I'm doing damage to the druid because I really want to. Um, we don't have a maim for this go, but I still send it anyways. I dome the silence here because MM Hunter is so bursty that you almost always need some form of damage reduction on aim shots and stuff. He maims the hunter. I pump some damage into him. Go to heal my guy a little. We get Iron Bark. Now this is a really good time to go the druid, the Dresser Druid. Um, so I'm starting to hit the Dresser Druid if I can. Go back to heal my guy, PS him. And now as soon as the druid's in my line, I'm trying to hit him and get the pressure up. My guy maims him, which is really good for me, but then he clones him. This would have been a really good go on the druid, but thankfully the hunter just turtled way too low and died to dots. So I believe we lost this game. It's a different team than the one we fought before. But same thing. I really want to prime up this Aura Druid for swaps. But again, my Pharaoh might not see the opportunities. So he gets found. This guy also started with a rapid fire. I think the hunter before did that too. Um, like he gets a rake, he gets iron barked. This is his incarn, so I really want to be looking at trying to go the Ardred a little bit here. My guy walls. I don't actually hate this wall. It was a little early. My guy didn't stop the clone, but he clones the hunter, so I'm trying to sit this even though there's explosive on him. I rapture out of the clone. Trying to hit the druid now. Get half clones. My guy still has maim. He's had maim this whole game. I think as a feral druid, especially, I know this is a disc priest video, but um, you really need to get pressure. And in incarn openers, there's no reason for him to not maim the druid there when he went to go hit him a little bit. So I fade the bash, fear him, and I'm still wanting to go him. I'm still looking to hit him a little bit. And my feral finally clones the hunter. We hit the druid a little bit. We don't have a maim though yet, but I send them my games anyways. We get skin. I end up swapping because I was, focused on doing damage, of course. Big dam. My guy bashes the hunter. We got the druid's trinket with a clone, which is actually really good, but then we half beam the hunter. See, now this main would have been huge on the druid here. Druid has no skin, no trinket. Um, but we did send down the hunter, sadly. I'm getting silence here, but we both LOS for a second. Druid's coming in for something. I don't have a fade. He actually kicks this time. Um, Gets a clone. Hunter sacks himself. Goes for a clone on the hunter, which I didn't mind. Although we have no, and I'm purging the druid here on his soul and thorns. It would be really huge if we had a stun for him here, but we didn't. So we go back to hunter. I sent to death early because I'm so used to it, just for damage. We got turtle from his incarn. He's coming to try and trap me. Pet sun trap. Now here in this situation, in my mind, I'm thinking I can trinket this trap really early on, but since he didn't have true shot or anything up, I didn't. But he did have death chakrams, so my guy got pretty low. The druid's retreating into the room, which really sucks for us. So I fade this first clone. I think I meld the second one, and then I get cloned finally, which my feral could have stopped, but we didn't, sadly. We got skin for free. Druid has really low mana. He got trinket back, but still no skin. I also killed the pet, and my guy got a re, but he didn't stop the pet summon, which was weird to me. Because then we kind of just lose right here with the pet stun. It was just an unfortunate thing. Like my guy just ran past him casting a summoned pet with a prowl and didn't rake stun it. So it was still salvageable, but many mistakes were made. Here we have Arms Warrior H Pala. I really actually like fighting Arms Warrior. Fury is kind of iffy for me, but it's really fun because if they go you, you have Catharsis, which is one of the PvP talents that I run. So you kind of get free damage and healing off of that just from them hitting you. And if they don't hit you, you get to actually just rain hell upon them. Like you will see this game how much damage I do. Um, it's actually kind of ridiculous, I'm not gonna lie. So I kill the war banner and got his thing out of the way. I do dome this Warbreaker pop and Avatar pop, or it was a proc, but my Feral deems to not stand in it. I hate not getting value out of dome, but it happens sometimes. So again, my damage, I'm just using my dot as reference, keeping it up as I use expiation and reduce it. I'm also getting penance procs from the Mind Blast Smite casts. I actually ended up doing like 4 Smite casts this game, and I think I even got like a 30k normal hit. So my Pharaoh was mainly hitting the H palette, I think, which was fine because I was basically killing the warrior myself the whole game, which can also be very important, especially if my Pharaoh were to get a clone. So I couldn't get this Bop here, and then I just didn't bother because he was running away. I might as well do more damage. You know, priorities. My priorities are to do damage. Then they're LOSing really hard because they're scared because I'm doing big damage. And I'm just using my mind games basically. Like all of these games, I'm using it outside of stuns, which you generally don't want to do. But since we're not doing the goes that I really want, I just get annoyed and just send the mind game sometimes. Especially because it still does damage. Um, I might as well, might as well use it as well. But if it's something like an Ardred or Mistweaver, mind games is definitely important for the swaps. So just keep that in mind as a Disc Priest. Again, I mean, this is just a fun game for me because it's just a free for all. I really just get to do the damage if you look at the details.